The Measured Body by Steve Rains. Elena Varga was discovered twice. The first time, she was 17, standing outside a metro station in Budapest, holding a paper bag that had begun to split at the seams. A woman approached her with professional certainty. "You have a face," she said. The second time, she was renamed. Paris. White walls. A table behind which 3 people evaluated her as if she were already an object in circulation. Elena Varga is too specific, too regional. A pause. Lena Vale. And just like that, she became something that could travel. The contract did not mention surrender. It did not need to. It offered access cities, campaigns, visibility, and embedded within it was a quieter exchange. Your body will be interpreted, adjusted, and maintained according to standards that do not originate with you. At first, the changes were small. Lose a little weight. Refine posture. Speak less in interviews. Then smaller. Avoid salt. Avoid inconsistency. Avoid anything that suggested fluctuation. "You're not changing who you are," her agent told her once. "You're refining it." Refinement, she would later understand, meant reduction. The casting rooms smelled faintly of heat and fabric. Bodies moved in sequence, evaluated, dismissed, recalled. No one spoke about competition, but it structured everything. Walk, she walked. Turn, she turned. Lose 2 centimeters in the waist. Come back next week. 2 centimeters was not a suggestion. It was an entry requirement. Backstage, another model offered her a solution. Casual, efficient, unremarkable. Everyone uses something. Everyone. It was less instruction than permission. Elena did not decide all at once. She adjusted, adapted, accepted small shifts that accumulated into something harder to question. In time, Lena Vale required no negotiation. She functioned. Stillness became her language. Stillness photographed well. It implied control. It concealed effort. At a gallery opening in New York, she stood near a wall she had not examined, wearing something structured enough to limit movement. Recognition came in fragments, glances, hesitation, partial certainty. It allowed her a narrow margin of anonymity. "You look like you're waiting for someone." She turned. He had not recognized her. "I am," she said. "Who?" "Myself." He considered that without discomfort. "Hope she shows up," he said. That was the first disruption. He did not engage with Lena Vale. He responded to Elena Varga. And that distinction altered everything. Daniel Reyes did not belong to her world. He worked in urban planning, concerned with structures that determined how people moved, gathered, and lived. He noticed patterns, absences, the unintended consequences of design. With Elena, he noticed what others did not. Not her face, not her body, her adjustments. "You're calibrated," he told her once. She almost laughed. Because it was exact. Calibration had become instinct food, posture, expression, tone, all adjusted in response to an invisible system of expectations. With him, those adjustments faltered. Not entirely, but enough to create contrast. And once contrast exists, the original state becomes visible. Their relationship developed without declaration. It was built through permissions, unstructured time, unobserved moments, conversations that did not need to resolve into something presentable. "I don't know what I look like anymore," she told him once. He did not answer immediately. "You look like someone who's been looked at too much." It was not comforting. It was accurate, and accuracy became its own form of trust. Milan removed ambiguity. Schedules compressed. Expectations sharpened. The margin for deviation disappeared. "Hold the line," her agent told her. "This is where you become indispensable." Indispensable meant not yet replaced. Measurements were repeated daily. Fittings reduced her to numbers spoken without context. Designers adjusted garments and bodies with the same language. Meals became calculations. Hunger became background. The pills discrete, effective became structural. Elena did not disappear all at once. She receded. Distance introduced strain without naming it. "You're telling me what happens," Daniel said once. "Not how it feels. It feels like work." That's not an answer. It's the only one I have time for. Time replaced reflection. Efficiency replaced presence. And gradually, explanation became more difficult than silence. When she returned, continuity was no longer available. "You're thinner," Daniel said. "I'm working." The conversation might have ended there. It did not. He found the pills unintentionally. She saw recognition register before he spoke. "I didn't know," he said. "Now you do." He did not accuse. He observed. "I want you to tell me this isn't costing you." "It's discipline," she said. "It looks like damage. It looks like that to you because you're outside it, and you're too far inside it to see it clearly." That was the shift. Not disagreement. Collision. "You don't understand the margin here," she said. "There is no room for error. There has to be." "There isn't. That's not a system. That's a trap. It's a career. It's costing you yourself. It's giving me everything. And us." That was the only question that required time. "I don't know how to keep both." "That means you've already chosen." She did not deny it. "I can't afford not to." The truth did not escalate. It settled. And that made it final. They separated without spectacle. No definitive moment. No language sufficient to conclude what had already been decided. Absence reorganized everything. For Daniel, it was structural. The removal of her presence revealed how much of his perception had been shaped in response to her questions, her resistance, her precision. He continued. Work expanded. Projects deepened. Impact accumulated in ways that did not require visibility. He dated, cautiously. Not out of attachment to her, but because clarity alters tolerance for approximation. For Elena, success consolidated. Campaigns extended. Contracts stabilized. Lena Vale became reliable in an industry that rewarded consistency above all else. She delivered. She was described as disciplined, controlled, exact, all accurate. Occasionally, something unplanned surfaced: a pause, an incomplete answer, a moment where performance almost gave way to reflection. It was interpreted as depth. It was, in fact, residue. Time adjusted the sharpness of memory without reducing its accuracy. They did not reconnect, but they existed in parallel within the same city, occasionally intersecting through representation. A photograph, a campaign, a screen. Recognition replaced reaction. Understanding replaced question. One evening, without schedule or obligation, Elena walked. No destination, no purpose. She passed a window and stopped. Not to evaluate, to observe. For a brief moment, she attempted to see herself without reference to remove measurement, expectation, calibration. It was possible, but not sustainable. The system had integrated too fully. She continued walking. Elsewhere, Daniel paused at a crosswalk without urgency. He thought of her not with longing, not with regret, but with precision. They had not failed. They had encountered a structure that required transformation neither of them was willing to undergo. And in that refusal, something honest had been preserved. Some relationships do not end. They conclude, not with resolution, but with understanding. And what remains is not the desire for a different outcome, but the recognition that none was available without becoming unrecognizable to oneself.